The loudest ego wears the quietest mask. He's out there smiling, partying, posting cryptic little captions like he's living his best life, like he just bounced back, like your love meant nothing. And you're still sitting in the wreckage, trying to read his face like it holds the answers. You're still staring at your phone, watching his stories like they'll give you peace. Why? Why? If you've ever looked at his Instagram and felt like your chest collapsed, if you've ever asked yourself, how is he okay and I'm not? Press that like button right now. Subscribe to this channel, because what I'm about to say will either make you cry or wake you the hell up. And honestly, you probably need both. Welcome back to the channel. And if this is your first time here, let me be clear, this space is not for sugarcoating. We don't do victimhood here. We do truth. We do healing. We do rising. Because you've been down too long. You've been quiet too long. You've been wronged. But worse, you've kept wronging yourself by holding on to a man who let you go like you were disposable. Let's talk about the illusion you're stuck in. You think he's fine. But listen, he's not fine. He's just faking it better than you are. He didn't heal. He hid. He buried everything under a new girl, a new haircut, a gym membership, or some fake self-love captions about peace and evolution. He didn't grow. He escaped. But you're the one who stayed behind. You're the one who cried until your throat dried out. You're the one who read books, started therapy, questioned your worth, wondered if you were too much or not enough, or the problem. You dug through the rubble of a love that collapsed without warning. You stayed in the pain. That's what real healing looks like. I worked with a woman last year, strong, brilliant, the kind of woman who lights up a room just by walking in. But when he left, she turned into a ghost of herself. She couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. She stalked his socials like it was her job. She kept telling herself, maybe if I hold on, he'll realize what he lost. But weeks turned into months, and every day she kept choosing to believe that silence was a maybe, that distance was confusion, that being ignored was somehow proof he was hurting too. And then one day, she saw a post. Him, with someone new, laughing. Same caption he used on her. That was her breaking point. She called me, shaking. You know what I told her? He's not happy. He's just louder than your pain. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. The man who hurt you is not doing fine. But it doesn't even matter. Because this isn't about him. This is about you, and the fact that you've tied your healing to his performance. The fact that you're holding your breath, waiting for a man to fall apart before you finally decide to get up. You've given your power to a man who did nothing but drain it. You've worshipped a ghost. You've prayed at the altar of his potential. You've betrayed yourself every single day. You looked at your reflection and asked what you did wrong, when all you did was love someone who didn't have the capacity to receive it. Society fed you a lie, that if you love him harder, longer, better, he'll see your worth. That if you forgive him fast enough, stay soft enough, hurt quietly enough, he'll come around. That's not love. That's emotional slavery, dressed up in a Hallmark movie. Let me be the one to scream it so you finally hear it. He lost you, and that's his loss for life. But you're still here, begging the universe for closure, for signs, for a message that maybe he still cares. You want to know what that makes you? It makes you the one who's still bleeding for someone who already walked away from the crime scene. It's time to stop. It's time to rise. It's time to look in the mirror and say it out loud. No more. Drop it in the comments right now. Write it for him. Write it for the universe. Write it for you. Let it echo in your bones. Let it shake the silence. Let it become your first act of rebellion. Because what's coming next? It's going to flip everything you thought you knew about him, about love, about power. We're going deeper now. And when we're done, you won't just be healed, you'll be unrecognizable. Number 1. He didn't heal, he hid. So, my dear, let's stop lying to ourselves for one damn second. Let's stop acting like silence means strength, or like pretending not to care is the same as healing. Let's stop looking at his fake little happy posts and thinking he's okay and you're not. Because here's the real truth you need to choke on before you ever taste peace. He didn't heal, he hid. You think he moved on? No, he just moved fast. Fast to run, fast to rebound, fast to fake a glow-up while you were drowning in the pain he caused. He didn't move on, he moved sideways. Let that sink in. Because while you were in your bed, curled up at 2 a.m., clutching your chest like your heart was literally splitting in half, he was out there pretending he never bled. Posting gym selfies, getting a new girl, suddenly into self-care, journaling, cold plunges, whatever trend made him look healed. But that man didn't change. He just rebranded. And society claps for it. They celebrate how fast men move on, how strong they are when they say nothing, how independent they are when they ghost the women who gave them everything. But let's get something straight right now. Disappearance is not discipline. Blocking someone is not bravery. Silence is not proof of healing. You think he's the stronger one because he's quiet? No, baby. He's just terrified of his own emotions, so he hides behind ego, distractions, and 1,000 coping mechanisms that look like confidence. But they're really just emotional cowardice in disguise. I read a post on Reddit once. A woman said her ex married another girl 6 months after their breakup. She was destroyed. Couldn't believe how easily he moved on. But 10 months later, they were divorced. You know why? He never healed. He just needed a new mirror to reflect back the illusion of a man who had his life together. That woman wasn't a partner. She was a distraction, a band-aid, a placeholder for the growth he refused to do. And it all caught up with him, because it always does. But let's not focus on him. Let's talk about you. You're still in the fire. You stayed. You sat in your grief like it was a funeral. You questioned everything. You asked yourself if you were too clingy, too emotional, too available, too loyal, too much, not enough, broken. You read every article. You tried every affirmation. You tried to forgive, to let go, to understand. You stayed in the heat of the truth. He ran from the smoke. And that, my love, is what makes you powerful. That's what makes you dangerous. Because the woman who chooses to stay in the pain, sit in the truth, and walk through it, she becomes invincible. But first, it hurts like hell. Let's call it what it is. This isn't heartbreak. This is grief. You're grieving a man who's still alive. Grieving the version of love that was sold to you since you were a little girl. The version where love conquers all. where the woman who stays and forgives gets rewarded, where pain is noble and endurance is sexy, and broken men are just waiting for the right woman to fix them. You've been fed lies from childhood, from songs, from movies, from aunties and mothers who told you to be patient, to be the bigger person, to love him through it. And so, you did. You didn't love with your heart. You loved with your blood. You poured yourself out, hoping your suffering would earn you a spot in his future. But here's the raw, ugly truth. Love doesn't reward the most loyal. It rewards the most honest. And the honest truth is, he didn't deserve you. Not the first time, not the fifth, and definitely not now. So why are you still bleeding over a man who walked away like he never cut you? Because deep down, you're still hoping he'll come back and prove it wasn't all a lie. You're hoping he'll wake up one day, shatter the silence and say, "I've changed. I see your worth. I never stopped loving you." You want the pain to have meant something, but it already does. Just not in the way you think. It means you're the one who felt everything. You're the one who stayed real. You're the one who cracked open and rebuilt. You're the one who faced herself while he was still out there running from mirrors. So stop envying his silence. Stop comparing your wounds to his mask. Because he's not healed. He's just hiding better than you. You cry in the dark. He numbs in the daylight. You ask questions. He avoids answers. You heal. He hides. And when all the noise fades, when the rebounds are gone, the distractions dry up, and the mask slips, that man will remember the one who stayed in the fire. But by then, you won't be there, because the version of you that begged for love, she died in the ashes. What's rising now? That's a woman no man will ever recover from. So say it with me, out loud. Drop it in the comments. Let the world hear it. Let the universe record it. Let him feel it through your silence. I choose the fire. Because what's coming next? It's going to turn your pain into power, your heartbreak into discipline, your silence into a sword. Stay right here, because next we're going deeper into the lies you were raised on, the myths about love, suffering, and being chosen. And once we break those chains, there's no going back. Number 2, his ego is loud. His pain is silent. So, my love, let's talk about what you think you're seeing and what's really going on. He's out there posting selfies, out with friends, laughing in group pics, sharing some deep-sounding quote about growth or detachment, like he's suddenly enlightened. And you're sitting there, broken, thinking he's fine, thinking he never cared, thinking he won the breakup. But let me make this clear. His ego is loud. His pain is silent. You look at his silence and call it strength. But what if I told you that silence isn't strength? It's suffocation. He's not healed. He's just hiding better than you. He acts like he doesn't care, but he does. He just doesn't know how to say it. Men are trained from childhood not to show weakness. They're told to shut up, man up, move on. They're told that talking about pain makes them soft, that vulnerability is failure. So what do? They bury it deep, They bury it under gym memberships, under parties, under the body of a woman who doesn't even know his middle name. They bury it under silence, jokes, distractions, alcohol, rebounds, and you sit here thinking he's okay. But let me paint the truth. He's the type to bleed out and still say, "It's just a scratch." He would rather lose you than look weak. He would rather pretend you meant nothing than admit you shattered him, because for him, protecting his image is more important than protecting the connection. I worked with a woman, real story. Her ex ghosted her, cut contact, no explanation, blocked her, disappeared like she never existed. 2 years later, he messaged her, not with confidence, not with a, "Hey, stranger." He was sobbing, literally. "I wasn't okay this whole time," he said. "I thought if I ignored it, it would go away. I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't know how to fix myself." Too late. She had already outgrown the version of herself that ever would have answered that call with hope. And I need you to do the same. Stop waiting for his mask to fall. Stop hoping one day he'll finally open up. Stop thinking he's better because he's quiet. A man who can't speak his pain will project it instead. He'll push you away. He'll lie. He'll cheat. He'll gaslight. He'll make you feel like the problem because he doesn't know how to face the one in the mirror. And here's the worst part. You call it power. You see a man who walks away and says nothing, and you think he's healed, and you're weak. No, you're just honest about your pain. You're doing the work. You're facing it, crying through it, journaling, praying, rebuilding. He's not healed. He's hiding. And if you keep idolizing his silence, you'll stay stuck in your suffering. Because you'll think healing means pretending. That moving on means ignoring. That love means never showing your wounds. And it doesn't. Real strength is what you're doing. Staying with your pain. Sitting in the silence. Facing the darkness and walking anyway. Don't envy his ego. Pity it. Because that ego, it will cost him every good thing he ever touches. You're going to walk into rooms glowing with self-worth, and he'll still be out here, trying to make new women forget what the last one broke in him. So stop giving power to the mask. Stop checking his social. Stop replaying the last thing he said. Stop telling yourself, if he's fine, I should be fine. Because you're not the same. You didn't fake it. You felt it. Say it with me right now. I felt it. I faced it. I'm healing. Drop it in the comments. Let him hear it. Let the universe record it. Let you believe it. Because what's coming next? It's not about understanding him. It's about unlearning everything you were taught about what love is supposed to feel like. And when we go there, you'll never see love the same way again. Number 3, you did the healing work. He did the disappearing act. So, my love, let's talk about the work you did. Let's talk about those nights you couldn't breathe. Let's talk about the mornings you didn't even want to wake up because your heart felt like it had been ripped straight out of your chest. Let's talk about how you kept going anyway. You stayed. You cried. You read. You prayed. You journaled, lit candles, took deep breaths, watched healing videos, begged the universe for answers, begged yourself to stop loving him. You unraveled, you broke, you bled. And him? He posted memes. He made jokes. He disappeared. He acted like nothing ever happened, like your love was just a season he changed out of. While you were drowning in your own soul, he was reposting funny videos and pretending he had peace. While you were clawing your way back to life, he was playing games with another woman, like your memory meant nothing. Let me say it clear. You did the healing. He did the disappearing. He didn't grow. He didn't reflect. He didn't change. He just waited. Waited for you to miss him. Waited for your strength to run out. Waited for his silence to echo loud enough for you to break first. Because that's the game. Men like him don't heal. They hover. They wait. They pretend to be over it until they think you're weak enough to come crawling back. You built a temple out of broken pieces. He built a playlist and a dating profile. You took your pain and turned it into purpose. You found your center, even in the middle of a breakdown. You tried to understand. You took accountability for things that weren't even yours. You rose from the floor with shaky hands and a tired heart and said, "I'll still try." He just vanished. No apology, no growth, no effort. And what really gets me, you're still looking at him like he's the one who won. Why are you jealous of a man who didn't even do the work? Why are you comparing your healing journey to someone who didn't take one single step forward? Why are you mourning a man who let you bleed and walked away with clean hands? Let me make this clear. This is not about blame. This is about truth. And the truth is, men are taught that running is strength. They're taught to ghost instead of explain, to distract instead of reflect, to replace instead of repair. But that's not strength. That's emotional cowardice. You stayed in the wreckage and tried to build again. He fled the scene and called it healing. You faced yourself. He avoided himself. And now you're sitting here wondering why he seems okay, why he moved on, why he doesn't look as broken as you feel. But you don't understand. He didn't heal. He hid. You are comparing your inner transformation to his external performance. You want to know who's winning? The one who did the work. The one who faced the fire. The one who stopped chasing closure and started chasing peace. And that's you. So why are you still romanticizing a man who didn't even have the courage to stay for the conversation? Why are you giving credit to someone who checked out while you were still trying to fight for the both of you? The pain you're in, it's not proof of weakness. It's proof you loved deeply. It's proof you're healing honestly. It's proof you're becoming something stronger than he could ever understand. And one day, he's going to feel it. Not in some grand moment, but in the quiet, in the silence of a life that's no longer lit by your presence, in the echo of a love he didn't earn. And by then, you won't even flinch. Say it with me right now. Say it out loud. Drop it in the comments. Let it hit your bones. I did the work. Because what's coming next? It's going to make you unstoppable. This is only the beginning of the version of you that never settles for silence over substance again. Number 4. He misses the supply, not the soul. So my love, let's stop pretending that little hey he sent means something. Let's stop calling his random texts proof that he still cares. Let's stop building fantasies on the back of empty pings and recycled words. Because the truth, he doesn't miss you. He misses the supply. He misses the feeling. He misses the attention, the adoration, the access. He misses how you made him feel, not who you are. Read that again. He doesn't miss you. He misses his reflection in your love. You made him feel important. You made him feel powerful, desired, worshipped. You gave him a safe space to collapse into. You were soft, consistent, forgiving, loyal to your own destruction. You gave him light, and he used it to avoid dealing with his darkness. You were the charger. Now that you've unplugged, his battery's dying. That's why he came back. Not because he woke up in tears realizing he loved you. Not because he finally matured. Not because he's ready to give you what you always needed. No, baby. He came back because the silence made him hungry. Hungry for attention, for validation, for a hit of your energy, because that's what you were, his emotional drug. A man like that doesn't miss the connection. He misses the control. He misses knowing that you'd answer, that you'd forgive, that you'd explain, that your heart was always unlocked, waiting for him to return. He doesn't miss the woman. He misses the supply. Let me give you a hard truth. A man who doesn't respect you will always return the moment you stop feeding his ego. It's not love. It's not healing. It's not fate. It's hunger. It's need. It's panic. He lost his favorite mirror, and now he's checking every room, hoping to catch one last glimpse of himself in your eyes. Because when you loved him, he felt big. He felt wanted. He felt like a king, even if he gave you the scraps off his table. A man doesn't miss you. He misses the version of himself he was when you loved him. And if you're not careful, you'll fall for the same performance. You'll let the breadcrumb feel like a meal. You'll call the "I miss you" at 1 a.m. progress. You'll open the door again and find yourself in the same damn prison you just escaped from. Let me ask you something, and I need you to answer it honestly. If he truly missed you, would he come back with nothing in his hands? No apology, no plan, no change, no clarity. Just a weak little message and the expectation that you'd still be there. He's not texting you because he loves you. He's texting you because you stopped feeding his ego. That's not love. That's leeching. And the fact that you even consider responding, that's what we need to fix. Because deep down, some part of you is still starving for his attention, still hoping this time it means something, still wanting to believe the pain was worth it, still thinking that maybe if he misses you hard enough, he'll come back the right way. But let me say this as clearly as I can. The version of you that kept giving, forgiving, and explaining, she's gone. Or at least she should be. Because the woman you are becoming, she knows the difference between love and addiction, between being wanted and being used, between being missed and being needed to survive. So let him miss you. Let his battery die. Let him sit in the silence he created. And you keep rising. You keep healing. You keep building a life where access to you is earned, not assumed. Say it with me. Say it loud. Drop it in the comments. I am no longer his supply. Because what's coming next? It's going to teach you how to become so full of your own light, you stop begging broken men to plug into you. They can miss you, but they will never drain you again. Number 5. He pretends you meant nothing because you meant too much. So, my love, let's talk about that cold look he gave you, the way he walked out like you were just a chapter he skimmed through, the silence he left behind, the blank face, the way he shrugged like you were nothing, like you never mattered, like he just didn't care. You keep replaying that in your mind, don't you? Trying to figure out how someone who claimed to love you could shut off that fast, go that numb, act that detached. Let me tell you something that might sting, but you need to hear it. He pretended you meant nothing because you meant too much. The ones who act like they feel nothing, they're usually the ones who felt the most but didn't know how to handle it. Real love terrifies a man who's never learned how to hold it. And when a man doesn't know what to do with something powerful, you know what he does? He kills it. Not with his hands, but with distance, with silence, with detachment. Because denial is easier than depth. And depth? That scares the hell out of emotionally immature men. I worked with a woman who told me her ex acted cold for months. Stone cold. No tears, no emotion, just straight-faced silence. She thought he never loved her. She blamed herself. Thought she was too emotional, too much, too clingy. But guess what? Months later, she heard from a mutual friend. He had a full-on mental breakdown. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, was drinking too much, isolated himself. You know why? Because he did care. He just couldn't say it, couldn't show it. So instead, he did what men are taught to do: suppress it until it explodes behind closed doors. He's not emotionless, he's emotionally immature. Don't confuse numbness with peace. Don't confuse silence with indifference. He wasn't calm, he was cowardly. He couldn't handle the truth of what he felt, so he ran from it. He couldn't meet your love with equal depth, so he turned cold to survive it. And the worst part, you're still crying over him, still mourning a man who didn't even know what to do with the love you gave, still measuring your worth against the reaction of a boy in a man's body. Stop it. Stop crying over a man who never even had the tools to love you right. Stop thinking his silence means he didn't care. Stop thinking his coldness means he didn't feel. He felt it. He just panicked. Because real love demands honesty, vulnerability, effort, growth. And he had none of those things. So he did the only thing he knew how to do. He shut down, disappeared, pretended it didn't matter. But pretending doesn't make it true. Let me be real with you. Some men will destroy the very thing they prayed for simply because it showed up before they were ready. You were too much? No, you were just too real. And real love doesn't feel safe to someone who's been hiding behind ego, performance, and avoidance his whole life. He didn't walk away because you weren't enough. He walked away because he wasn't ready for something that real. So stop beating yourself up. Stop blaming yourself. Stop wondering what you did wrong. You showed up fully. You loved deeply. You felt it all. And that's not weakness. That's power. The power to feel, to process, to grow. The power to face yourself. The power to say, I won't shrink for anyone, not even the man I thought was my forever. Say it with me. Say it like you're reclaiming your voice. I was too real for him. Drop it in the comments. Let it ring in your soul. Let him feel it through the silence you now hold like a sword. Because what's coming next? It's not cold detachment. It's not fake strength. It's your rebirth into the woman who no longer grieves boys who can't handle grown love. Stay ready, because the next version of you, she's going to be unreachable. Number 6. You were the gift. He fumbled it. So, my love, let's get something straight, once and for all. You were the gift. He fumbled it. He didn't leave because you weren't enough. He left because he wasn't ready to receive the level of love, depth, and energy you brought to the table. You showed up with loyalty, softness, patience, presence. You showed up with your soul in your hands, saying, Here, I choose you. And he looked at it, blinked, and walked away. Not because you were too much, but because he was too little to carry what you offered. You brought diamonds to a man still playing with stones. And instead of holding your value, he threw you in the dirt and acted like he didn't notice the shine. But here you are, still questioning yourself, still asking, was I too emotional? Did I move too fast? Was I hard to love? No, you were just too real for someone who wasn't ready for real. Let's make it even clearer. A man who can't love you doesn't mean you're unlovable. It means he's unequipped. And that's where the shift has to happen. You need to stop seeing yourself as someone who lost something and start seeing yourself as the one who was undervalued. You were the win. You were the peace. You were the safe place. And he didn't have the emotional tools to even recognize it. Imagine giving a priceless painting to someone who only knows how to scribble on napkins. Imagine handing over the keys to a mansion to someone who's only ever lived in a tent. They'll call it too much because they don't understand it, because they've never earned the level of energy you handed over so freely. And that's what you've got to look at now. Not your worth, but your standards. Not, was I enough? But, why did I stay that long? Why did you keep pouring into someone who couldn't even hold a cup? Why did you let someone sit at your table and treat your soul like leftovers? Let's be honest, he didn't fumble just you. He fumbled access to you, to your mind, your care, your energy, your heart. You were consistent when he was chaotic. You stayed when he wavered. You forgave when he gave up. And that wasn't weakness, it was love. But now, it has to become wisdom. Because what's more dangerous than a woman who gives her all? A woman who finally learns who's worthy of it. You are not the woman who got left. You are the woman he wasn't ready for. You are the test he failed. You are the standard he couldn't rise to meet. You were the peace he didn't know how to live in. You were the mirror he couldn't look into without confronting everything broken inside himself. So stop mourning. Start remembering. You didn't lose. You learned. You didn't break. You burned away the illusion. And now, Now it's time to stop waiting for someone to come back and recognize your value. You recognize it. You own it. You walk in it. Because the next version of you, she doesn't hand over diamonds to boys who don't even bring pockets. Say it with me. Say it like you mean it, like your life depends on it. I was the gift. Drop it in the comments. Let the old you hear it. Let the woman you're becoming feel it. Let the universe echo it back in every room you walk into from now on. Because what's coming next? It's not about proving your worth. It's about protecting it. And that starts with becoming unavailable to anyone who ever made you question it in the first place. Number 7. You keep checking on him. But who's checking on you? So, my love, you're checking his stories again, aren't you? Scrolling through his likes, reading into every post, looking at who he followed, what he said, where he went, who he might be with. You know his feed better than your own reflection right now. You keep looking for clues, for cracks, for signs that he misses you, that he regrets it, that he's not really over you. But while you're busy keeping tabs on him, let me ask you something real. Who's been checking on you? Who's been looking out for your peace? Who's watching your smile fade and your glow dim because you're so consumed with his? You're stalking the same man who left your heart in pieces. You're breaking your own heart, watching someone who already broke it. And for what? For a breadcrumb of emotion, for a digital sigh, for a chance to feel close again, even if it costs your sanity. Let me give it to you raw. This is self-sabotage. You're not healing, you're hovering. You're not curious, you're addicted. You've tied your peace to his posts. You're letting his updates decide your emotions. You cry if he's with someone. You smile if he posts a sad quote. You call it closure, but what you're really doing is bleeding out in real time for likes, captions, and filtered photos. I worked with a woman just like you. She checked her ex's Instagram every single day for 7 months. Every day. She zoomed in on the backgrounds of his pictures, checked who commented, analyzed emojis like they were messages from the gods. And you know what happened? She gained weight. She lost herself. She lost confidence. She stopped working out, stopped dressing up, stopped dreaming. All because she couldn't stop watching a man who didn't even notice she was still watching. It wasn't until she deleted the app, started therapy, and went cold turkey, no watching, no searching, no wondering, that she started to come back to life. And you will too, but not until you admit the truth. You're not obsessed with him. You're obsessed with the version of yourself that loved him. You're chasing the illusion that maybe, just maybe, it still means something. You're not waiting for him. You're waiting for a sign that the pain was worth it. But let me say it loud so you finally hear it. It was never about the man. It was always about the wound. And you've been picking at it for months, sitting in the same pain every day, choosing not to heal. Because some part of you thinks the minute you stop watching, you'll be forgotten. The minute you stop checking, it means he really moved on. But here's the truth, babe. He already moved on. He made peace with walking away a long time ago. You just haven't. And it's time. Time to stop giving him your energy. Time to stop letting your healing depend on his updates. Time to stop making a museum out of memories that were already painful the first time. Turn off the notifications. Turn on your life. Mute him. Block him. Delete the thread. Not to get his attention, but to get yourself back. Go back to the mirror. Look in your own eyes. Ask yourself, what does my heart need today? Because right now, all your energy is facing outward. You're loving everyone but you. You're loyal to pain. You're faithful to a fantasy. And it's time to come home to yourself. Say it out loud. Don't whisper it. Say it like you're flipping the switch inside your soul. I choose me now. Drop it in the comments. Let your old self hear it. Let your future self celebrate it. Because what's coming next? It's the version of you that no longer watches. She creates. She glows. She moves. And when he finally looks for you again, you'll be too busy living the life you forgot to build while you were watching his. Number 8. He lost you. That's the punishment. So, my love, you're still sitting there, aren't you? Wondering if he feels it, if he's hurting too, if he ever lays in bed at night and thinks about everything he lost when he let you go. You keep hoping that one day it'll hit him, that he'll break, that he'll cry, that he'll come running back, full of regret and apologies, and some grand realization. But let me tell you the truth you've been avoiding. He does feel it. He just doesn't show it the way you do. You cried out loud. He suffers in silence. You collapsed when it ended. He cracks slowly, later, alone, in the dark. Because here's the thing about men. They don't mourn like we do. They don't sit and process it right away. They distract. They run. They fake it. They replace. But when the noise fades, when the distractions dry up, when the rebound starts to feel empty and the silence gets too loud, that's when it hits him, when it's too late, when you're gone. Men don't mourn out loud. They feel the silence later. And when that silence comes, it's brutal. It doesn't sound like crying. It sounds like regret, like late-night thoughts that won't shut up, like unanswered texts, like seeing you glow without him and knowing he'll never get that version of you again. You were his shelter. Now he's out in the storm. You were his calm, his comfort, his constant. You made things easy. You gave him space to be messy, to be broken, to be human. And instead of cherishing that, he took it for granted. He thought you'd always be there. He thought you'd wait. He thought your heart had a revolving door. And now he's standing outside the life he used to have, face pressed to the glass, watching you become untouchable. But the real kicker, you're still over there, hoping he feels pain, still wanting revenge in the form of his tears, still imagining him breaking down, calling you, telling you he messed up. But listen, your peace is the punishment. Your silence is the sword. Your glow-up is the revenge. You don't need him to cry to prove he lost something. He already did. He lost the woman who gave without question, the one who stood by him through chaos, the one who would have walked through hell barefoot if it meant he felt seen. He lost the version of you that loved him, even when he didn't deserve it. And that, my love, that loss will haunt him more than any apology ever could. Because men like that don't realize what they had until the door is locked and the light is off and the silence is louder than your love ever was. So stop checking if he's okay. Stop asking the universe to make him hurt. Stop waiting for karma to knock on his door. You were the karma. You were the peace he didn't earn, the softness he mishandled, the miracle he treated like it was ordinary. And now, he'll have to live with that. He'll meet new women, but none will have your soul. He'll chase feelings, but none will feel like home. He'll hear your name and feel something tighten in his chest. And you'll be free. Say it with me. Say it like you're cutting the last string that ever tied you to him. He lost me, and that's his loss for life. Drop it in the comments. Write it on your mirror. Tattoo it on your soul. Because what's coming next? It's not about what he feels. It's about what you become. And the woman you're becoming, she doesn't seek revenge. She is the reminder. And baby, she never looks back. So my love, you don't need to prove you were the best thing he had. Let him figure it out when your name is no longer reachable, when your face is just a memory, when your energy is out of his price range. Now it's your time to heal, to build, to rise. Turn every ounce of that wasted energy inward, into purpose, peace, and power. You don't need to make him regret. You need to make yourself proud. If this woke something up in you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with a queen who needs it. Your rise starts now. Let's go.